Hello, my name's Chris Allen, and this is the Chris Allen MMA Show. I'm being joined today for our second episode by someone I've spoken to a lot in the past. It's Bellator's own, Mr. Charlie Leary. Charlie, mate, thank you for taking time. Well, it's not as if we haven't got enough of it.
No, tell me about it. My pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me.
No, again, really appreciate it. So, first question is, I've been asking a lot of people, is like, what, as a fighter like yourself, how are you coping with this whole situation, just chilling at home all the time?
I'm struggling a little bit, mate, to be honest, struggling. I've got a lot to be getting on with. I've obviously got a son that I'm now trying to teach and be a teacher with.
Nice.
I've got a heavily pregnant wife who's still actually working from home because she works for the NHS, but she's like in admin and stuff, so she can do it from home, luckily, because she's on the 12-week isolation thing because obviously being pregnant. So I've got her, I'm going to look after her. And I was, up until today, trying to prepare for a fight as well, which is never easy at the best of times. So it was hard work trying to train in a 2-bedroom flat and being allowed out of the house once a day. So it's all good.
Yeah, mate, it must be tough for you. Just go back to the couple of points you made there. So you said you've got a heavily pregnant wife and she's part of the NHS. So first of all, thank you very much to herself and all her colleagues that are doing everything they can at the moment. And being pregnant, obviously, is high risk, Charlie. So does that mean you really have to stay in yourself as much as possible as well?
Pretty much, mate. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I fight full time, as in like that's my full time job. I do coaching and stuff on the side, which pays me in between fights and stuff like that. But obviously, since the shutdown, I haven't been able to do any of that. I haven't bothered trying to do anything. I've just literally stayed at home with wife and the little one, and tried doing my own training to keep myself fit and ready for a fight. But yeah, it's been tough.
Well, as I was saying to someone else before yesterday, it's nice that you've actually got people at home. You know, there's some people with no one at home. You know, they're literally sick when they're jack.
Yeah, that's at least I have got someone to talk to and stuff like that. Yeah, it's nice.
No, I'd be just wondering how long it takes before we all drive each other mental. You know.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, that is it. Like I say, at least I've been getting out of the house, doing my runs and stuff like that, which is nice. Gives me a little bit of time to myself, get my thoughts right, and think about the fight, and not think about being dad and teacher and husband and all that at the same time. So it's not been too bad, but yeah, it's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal.
No, it's not, mate. Isn't it nuts though? When you're doing some schoolwork at home, you're thinking, how the hell did I do this as a kid? You know, these kids are bloody geniuses.
Yeah, the trouble is, my little one's 4, almost 5, and some of his work I still don't understand.
Mate, it's like getting the academic out again. It's like doing your GCSEs all over again, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not on. It's not on.
I bet you never thought you'd see another fraction in your life. You know, apart from the odds on your fights.
Yeah. That's it. I was hoping I would pass all that schoolwork and stuff like that, but obviously not.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, obviously a lot of people are off work now, including yourself. You know, this is your income as well as you said you're coaching as well. Are you technically employed by Bellator, or is it on a self-employed sort of basis, if you're allowed to say that? As
far as I know, it's self-employed. I've been self-employed for like the last year or whatever it's since I've signed with Bellator. So I'm classed as self-employed, which is a bit of a nightmare because the government come out and said that they were going to help out, didn't they, 80% and stuff, but you have to have been self-employed for 3 years. So at the moment, I'm getting absolutely zero. I've got zero income. I've got nothing. My wife goes on maternity leave in about 3 weeks, I think it is, which means she's then on statutory maternity pay as well. So, yeah, we're struggling a little bit, but they've said about we have to claim universal credit and stuff like that. So we're in that process at the moment and just seeing where it goes. I've been really lucky that some of the clients and stuff that I teach and coach have paid me up front for sessions that we can do afterwards and things like that. So I've got a lot of people, like sponsors like Whiskey Wolf, really helped me out setting a lot of stuff up. So yeah, everyone out there's helping out. It's just a little bit more stress that I don't need. Do you know what I mean? It's when you're trying to prepare for a baby coming and all that sort of thing. It's money's the last thing that you want to be worrying about. But it is what it is, mate. Everyone's in the same boat, isn't they? So I can't complain.
No, that's it, mate. That is it completely. So I'm lucky to be employed as such, but again, I'm still sitting at home, not doing a lot at the moment, sort of thing. And that's why it's obviously a great opportunity for us to all have a chat and try and take our minds off things for the time being.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've got the little one having his lunch and stuff with my wife at the moment. So I'm on lunch break between schooling, and then we'll have the chat, and then I'll get back to it again afterwards. So.
All right, I'll try and drag this chat on for about 4 hours then, if you want, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you can.
What I've noticed a lot of things is these fighters, a lot of fighters going, add me up on PlayStation and Xbox. I'm thinking we're all turning into 15-year-olds again, jumping online, playing Call of Duty.
You know what? That is a funny thing, because I've never really been into computers or anything like that. And my little and auntie and uncle have got like Xbox and PlayStation stuff. So whenever he goes there, their kids and stuff are always playing it. And he kept banging on at me, can I have an Xbox? Can I have an Xbox? I'm like, mate, you're 4 years old. You can't have Xbox. And now I'm going, yeah, you might as well have an Xbox. So his auntie's brought around one of their old ones. So we're trying to set that up for him and stuff like that. Just so yeah, I'm just going to end up playing computer games all day, I think.
Quality, mate. Hey, family time, mate. Why not? You're gonna walk in, your 4-year-old's playing bloody Grand Theft Auto, going around stealing cars and beating up hookers.
Yeah, more than likely. He'd love that. He'd love it.
Nice. Do you ever? A question I actually want to ask is, might sound a bit cliche. Have you ever played any like the MMA games before, like UFC games or anything like that?
I remember playing. It must have been like the first UFC game, not like the thingy one, EA Sports one, the first UFC Undisputed or whatever it was. I think that was on PlayStation 2 or something. But I played that, and that was probably one of the last games I played. I used to play that and Pro Evo Soccer on the PlayStation 2, and they were pretty much the last games I played. So it's got to have been, 10, 15 years ago or something. It was the last time I was playing computers, really, about 10 years ago, I think.
No, fair enough, mate. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I still play computer games every now and then. I'm not a geek, but I just love playing them. But you know what I mean? I was playing yesterday. Before I knew it, 4 hours had gone by. I'm like, where the hell did my day just go?
Yeah, maybe I do need to start playing them if it gets rid of that time. But yeah, no, like I say, I've never really been into them that much.
The problem is that you're sitting there playing, then you look to the left of you and think, how many packs of crisps did I eat and chocolate and stuff during that?
That would not do my diet any good at all, would it?
No, not at all. Well, I'll tell you, I'll come on to that quickly. Obviously, it's a bit different situation for you. Obviously, you were planning for a fight. Unfortunately, this morning, I don't know if it was announced earlier, but I noticed this morning that, unfortunately, the May 16th Bellator card had obviously been cancelled for obvious reasons. And I was looking forward to that. I was calling for that Akon Wanless fight for you for a long time, And when I finally saw that drop in, I thought, wow, that is the fight to be making this time. First of all, how do you mentally now prepare? Like, you were training for a fight, and now all of a sudden, and earning money, and now all of a sudden you haven't got a fight coming up, and the income's not there. So what are you doing now? Are you still trying to keep yourself fit? You're trying to keep your weight down? What are you trying to do?
This is it. So I've got to make sure that I don't just get later. It's difficult in this situation. Obviously, the easy thing for me to do would go, it's all right, we're on lockdown anyway. I'll just chill out, wait until we're released again, and be able to train. But doing that, I'd balloon up. I'd be eating too much, and I'd be well out of shape. So I'm going to stay in shape. Like I say, going for a run and getting a bit of training in keeps me mentally sane anyway, because it's weird not being able to punch people and go training and stuff's really hard work at the moment. So
it's not even anyone on the street to punch either. Not that you would.
No one's around. It's not even like I'm allowed to call my mates up and bring them round. We're stuck. So I'm going to keep myself fit, try and stay on track, and then as soon as we're released, as soon as we're out there, I've been told that they are looking at rebooking the fights and rebooking the show and stuff like that. So I presume it's a postponement, not a cancellation. They'll just put it on whenever they can. Bellator have been great. They're always been quality. I mean, as soon as we got locked down, the first person that messaged me was Jude. Messaged me saying, like, are you all right? Just checking in on you. And they're checking in, making sure we're doing all right and we're coping. So they messaged again this morning. And obviously then the press release went out a little bit earlier on saying that they've all been cancelled. They're going to keep us in the loop. And they want us to be fighting. They want us to be earning money. They want us to be happy. So they're doing everything they can. I couldn't ask for more from them. They're always been great. So I'm happy with that, and I'll stay in shape. And like I say, as soon as it gets rebooked, I'll be back on form.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fault Bellator at all. I'm not a fighter, but I've spent a lot of time in the media row and in the press area, and they've always looked after us very well. Always up to date announcements, what's going on, what's not happening. And I've heard from a couple of like Jude myself recently and things like that. And no, it's nice to see that it is one big happy family in there. You're not being forgotten, you know, and that's really good of Bellator to do. Hopefully they'll send you a check for 10 grand or something through the post.
I mean, that would be lovely. I see on Twitter earlier someone saying about whether they should pay us and this and that. Now, obviously, I would love to be paid. I'd love to get some sort of money in, but you can't expect that. I mean, the fight's still, what was it, 7 weeks away. You can't expect them. If they start doing that sort of thing, then there's not going to be a Bellator when all of this is over. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to be able to put on fights at the end of it. So, like I say, I feel like they've done really well with how they're looking after us. If there's any money that's coming our way, then happy days. If not, then I'll just make sure I get the win bonus for my next fight and pay off any loans or anything I have to take out in the meantime.
That's it, mate. 100%. That's definitely the attitude to be having, you know, and it's really good that you've still got the positive mentality towards it. And at the end of the day, you're still a Bellator fighter. That's good enough, you know.
Oh, exactly, mate. Exactly. I mean, I signed my new contract, got a new contract extension and stuff like that. So I've got a new 4-fight deal. Got a new 4-fight deal with Bellator. So I'm more than happy. I'm really happy to be with them. Over the moon with how they treat us. Like I say, I'm grateful and privileged to be fighting for such a great company. So I'm happy with that. I mean, it's a little bit of a shining light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we're still going through some tough times, and like I say, it's stressful and all that. But like I say, once we're out of this, I'm still a Bellator fighter, and I get to go and do what I love afterwards. So.
Yeah, and Bellator already protecting their fighters as well, as much as they want to put a show on, protecting the fighters and fans.
Yeah, it's so much better. So much better. And like I say, they've given us loads of notice. It's not like I've got all the way down to a week or wherever it is, and I'm going, I might still be fine. I'm trying to cut weight or anything. They've gone, no, they've taken the initiative and said, no, look, we're going to cancel it and do it there. And they've given us more than enough notice. So I'm, like I say, more than happy, and I feel like they're treating us fairly. So it's all good.
Well, I know you said we're 7 weeks out still, but had you started training camp already at all?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, since my last fight, obviously there was Christmas and my birthday, and then we had I had some time off. I got like a niggling little injury and stuff in my wrist. That meant I was still training, but I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do. So I put a lot of weight on. So I'd been training for this fight. God, I'd probably been in camp I train all year round, but actually in camp trying to get my weight down and stuff like that, started probably 12 weeks out, more than 12 weeks out, just because I'd started focusing on what I was doing and getting back in shape and all that. So I've been training for a while for it. Then obviously with what happened last week, it's been difficult. I've been almost maintaining where I'm at because it's hard trying to run once a day. And doing little bits in the flat and stuff like that, it's hard work. But yeah, I've been staying on top of it.
And obviously, you've got a wife who's 3 weeks due in 3 weeks sort of time. So really, you're on edge, I'm sure, a lot anyway due to that.
Yeah, so she's actually due. She was due the week before the fight.
Wow.
Yeah. So she goes on maternity in a couple of weeks, I think it is. Then she's got another 4 weeks or whatever before the due date. So yeah, that was before all of the corona and stuff even started. It was going to be a stressful camp for me anyway, with pregnancy things and all that sort of stuff anyway. So it's going to be a stressful time. So I'd already prepared for it to be stressful, exactly why I was starting quite a way out. Do you know what I mean? So that way, if anything did happen, maybe she goes into labour early or anything like that, I'm not worried about, oh my God, my weight's heavy, I have to be at training. I can be there for the birth. I can then go back to training, that sort of thing. So like I say, I was preparing early for it, for all the worst case scenarios, like say if she went into labour or anything like that, and then out of the blue we get locked down. So it was we all prepared for all this, and I was preparing for. She was getting all upset because she thought there's a possibility I'd missed the birth and all that sort of thing. And now the fight's cancelled. It's like, okay, at least I'll be there. And we've just heard from the hospitals that there's a possibility they won't be allowing fathers and birth partners in for births and stuff anyway. So
no, I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, there's every possibility that I missed the birth anyway, which again is upsetting her. And it's not nice. It's not a nice situation to be in, but we've all got to do what we got to do, haven't we? So.
Yeah, so you've got to protect yourselves, mate. You've got to protect her, you know, when she's giving birth is when she's the most vulnerable, mate.
Exactly that. So yeah.
Anyway, mate, she's the nurse. She's in the NHS even as such. She's the expert.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you've got the good, obviously the fantastic mentality still. Because I didn't want to talk about it too much, but if we look at your last fight, you know, which I was in attendance for, not many fights where you see when the fighter's hand gets raised, fighters look at each other in like, what the hell was all that about? Even Tim was a bit like, and no disrespect to Tim, I get on very well with Tim as well, but I think he even looked a bit surprised, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you only have to look at the picture or the video of the referee lifting the hands, and
that was brilliant.
You can see who believed that they'd won that fight and who realised, like I say, I still believe I won that fight. I understand the judge. I've spoken to a few people. I got some messages, and I asked a few people, like after the fight, to watch it back for me and give me their honest opinion and stuff. Some people who I highly respect. I won't name names, but yeah, some really respected names in the like MMA and stuff like that. And they messaged me and explained what they felt, why it was scored and this and that. And I completely take that on board. I still feel like I won the fight, but I didn't do enough. Do you know what I mean? Which is fair enough. I mean, if you ask him, I know he says it was tight and stuff like that, but I think in everyone's heart of hearts, you can see that I won that fight. But I didn't do enough. It's on my back. I should have finished the fight in the first round. Do you know what I mean? I dropped him twice. I should have finished it in the first round, and I didn't, because I've had situations where I've rushed my work and stuff before and got swept and end up on bottom and got grinded out and lost decisions where I should have won the fight. Do you know what I mean? So I'd got in the mentality of not pushing too hard. Don't worry, I'm winning and that sort of thing. And I shouldn't have been. So it's my own fault. It's on me. You leave it to the judges. It's always going to be a chance that you don't get the call. Do you know what I mean? So it's a learning curve. I'll take it on the chin and I'll improve and I'll be better the next time. Do you know what I mean? I won't be letting people off the hook.
No, I completely understand, and I don't want to sound biased at all, because obviously I get on very well with both of you. But in my eyes, you know, I definitely thought you had the first two rounds. Even the commentators were stating that the second round may have even been a 10-8.
Yeah, no, the first round could have been a 10-8. I think obviously dropping him twice. The second round, they're saying because he dropped me with a knee right at the beginning of the round.
Were you dropped with a knee though? Because I watched it again. It looked like you caught it and slipped.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The knee hit me, but it wasn't like it dropped me. The knee hits me as I'm going down for the takedown, and then I got hold of him and pulled him down, basically. So I'm going down, but I've taken him down. And then, what was it, 30 seconds he was on top. I escaped, I got up, and then I catch one of his...
full mount. You think you got up from the full mount, didn't you?
Yeah, I passed in the half guard, I think, and then like, put him back in the half guard and then got up. But then about 30 seconds later, I catch his kick and drop him with a right hand, and then stay on top for over 3 minutes, pass his guard a couple of times, he puts me back in guard. He tries throwing up a triangle, it wasn't there. I tried for the arm triangle, it wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? He threw a couple of elbows at the end of the round. I threw some punches in the middle of the round. Do you know what I mean? But I had control for 3.5 minutes of that fight. He had control for 30 seconds. We both dropped each other sort of in the round. So surely I win that round. This is how I felt. But like I say, if the judging say differently, then that's how it works. You know what I mean? I can't sit here and dwell on it too much, because where does that get me? Nowhere. If it sounds like a bit of grapes, do you know what I mean? It sounds like I've got an axe to grind, and I don't. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I've been in this game long enough to know that you don't always get the rub of the green. You have to do everything you can to finish the fight. And yeah, that's where I went wrong. I should have pushed harder. Now, don't get me wrong. The third round, I went into the third round thinking, okay, I've won the first two comfortably. Survive the third round. Don't do anything stupid. Don't let him get a 10-8. Don't get finished and that sort of thing. And I've won the fight. Now, I don't know whether you see his shin he'd split his shin twice, hadn't he? With kicks and stuff, and he'd absolutely murdered my calf. So I was really struggling to plant my foot, to stand too much and stuff like that. So I really didn't want to take any more kicks. So a lot of my work in the third round was more, okay, defense on point, counter when I can counter to stop it being a 10-8 and stuff like that, and just make sure the fight went the distance. And like I say, if I'd known it was 1-1 going into that round, then I don't do that. I go in there and I go, okay, I've got to push forward, chance getting stopped to look for the win, do you know what I mean, to win the round. So it's annoying. I mean, there's been a lot of controversy about decisions recently and people talking about how you can change it and what to do. I think it's always going to be, no matter what system you put in, there's always going to be arguments. There's always going to be people. There's people saying about maybe you should know the scores after each round. Maybe you should score it differently, maybe this and that. But there's always going to be one side against the other. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be discrepancies. There's always going to be a decision. There's always going to be someone's opinion. Like I say, with the judges sitting at cage side, it's hard because they're at different points of the cage. So the person sitting at this side may see a real flush shot, and the person sitting behind doesn't think that it's a flush shot. It doesn't look like it's scored. So you can't knock them. Like I say, it's off the back straight away. I was obviously annoyed. I really felt like I won it, and I was upset because I felt like obviously I lose half my purse. I lose my win bonus. I was one fight away from my contract renewal. I was thinking, I'll win this one. I'll get a nice big bonus, a bigger contract renewal, a better thing, and all that sort of thing. I'm worried, obviously. Then what happens? Now I'm on a loss? Do I fight out my last fight and maybe they cut me and all this sort of thing? But like I say, I've nothing but respect for Bellator. I spoke to Jude, I spoke to Dave Green, I spoke to Mike Cogan, and they're all really, really supportive, really, really good people. Really settled my nerves and stuff like that. And then, like I say, I've got the contract renewal anyway. So I'm more than happy. Like I say, it's work that I need to do to go out there and look to finish fights, try and put on more exciting fights and go from there. So.
Well, do you think, maybe, obviously I'm sure they would have kept you on anyway because every promoter likes a fighter that comes and fights. We've had that conversation in the past, like records mean nothing. You see who you fought and everything like that. It's just an absolutely incredible run. You've never taken the easy option. Do you reckon that's what Dave Green and all them people saw in you as well? Like, as well as the fight being super close as well, they may have thought it went the other way. Do you reckon that really helped out your situation of, being kept on within the organisation instead of being a lay and a prayer?
Pretty much, I think so. I think obviously the way that I fight, I think the way that I'm professional about things. I've never missed weight. I don't feel like I'm a pain in the arse. I don't ask for too much. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a prima donna. I'm not asking for this and that, and I don't give them much hassle as far as I know. I sell quite a few tickets, and I always come to fight, and I don't turn down a fight. If they give me a name, my manager goes, "It's this guy." I go, "Yep, sign it." It doesn't matter who it is. Do you know what I mean? Some people were saying to me about the Akon fight, "Oh yeah, but he's an up-and-comer. It's a lose-lose for you and this and that for me," because he's very talented. He's a good guy, but he's only had 5 fights or something like that. So I beat the guy everyone expects me to beat him. He beats me all of a sudden. I've been beaten by a guy who's only had 5 fights. But if you look at him, he's a good prospect, man. He's got good talent, and I think it'll be a great fight. But I'll take any fight. Do you know what I mean? Whoever it is, it doesn't matter to me. I'm there to fight. They put a name on the paper, I take it. I'll sign it there and then.
Exactly. Like you fought guys with big records. You fought Tom Green, who was 12-2 at the time, and things like that, with lots of big win streaks. And again, taking on someone like Tim Wilde, I think, was he just coming off his loss to Primus on that?
Yeah, he just lost to Primus. Yeah, he just lost to Primus. But then I fought Bungard, who'd just demolished Brazier. And I just lost a tight fight to Redmond. So when they I was expecting to be offered to be fighting Brazier, and then they offered me the guy that beat him. And like I say, I'd take any fight against anyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. So
I was calling for that Wanless fight for you because I personally think that would have been a great matchup and a great, obviously the styles you both got as well would be fantastic. And like how did that come across? Because obviously coming off a loss, even though it was a very close one, they put you against someone who's on a win streak at the moment, everything like that. Does that not prove to you that the organisation may have felt you won that last fight?
Like I say, I'm happy with everything that Bellator are saying to me. Do you know what I mean? And doing for me. Whether they feel like I won it or not, they're doing everything they can. Do you know what I mean? They are looking after me. Got a great contract renewal. Like I say, I'm fighting a guy who's coming off of a win again, which means good things for me. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm happy with that. I actually obviously see his his last fight was on the same show, wasn't it? And I was very impressed with that. I spoke to him in the bar afterwards and said to him, like, what a great fight and stuff. I was expecting that to be a real test for him, because Barnett's no slouch, and he looked superb. So it makes it all more exciting for me to be fighting someone who I think is a good talent. You know what I mean? That's great for me. It always helps me up my game when I'm fighting good guys. Do you know what I mean? So.
Well, initially he was he had quite a few opponents. I know he was going to fight Tom Green as well. Actually, that was one of the options as well.
Yeah, which is weird, because Tom come down and done some sparring and stuff with me, because he was fighting one list and stuff. And we've got a guy, Sam Patterson, at our gym, who he's the next big thing, man. He's something special. But he's very similar to one list, so it's great for me getting round him with him. It feels like I'm fighting the same guy every day. Do you know what I mean? I'm training and sparring someone who's the same sort of distance, same range, same athleticism, all that sort of thing. So it's really good for me.
I say that'd have been a fantastic fight. You know, another member of Team Renegade, because I know Tim trains down there now as well. There's obviously some killers in that gym.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's a great gym. Yeah, great gym.
No, mate. And again, it's just, I'm absolutely gutted, you know, because I would have been joining you in the press row for the May 16th event. And, you know, I spoke to you at I did speak to you at the last event as you were coming out the cage. You know, we had a brief chat, but I know you were very pissed off at the moment at that time of day. But it's nice you got such a quick turnaround as well. Well, it was meant to be a quick turnaround.
It was meant to be. Yeah, it was meant to be. To be fair, I was trying to get one. I was hoping they were going to do one in April, obviously with the baby and stuff coming, to get one in before the baby and all that sort of thing. But when they said May, I was like, oh, that's sweet. It gives me loads of time to get ready and get prepared. It's just, it is what it is now. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure they'll rebook it. I'm sure they'll get it sorted, whether it's on a London card, whether the first card back, is wherever, Birmingham, maybe they do it, Newcastle, whatever they do, that fight's there, and I'm willing to take it wherever and whenever. So, and worst case scenario, they decide that no, that fight's not happening anymore, they put someone else on, I'll take that fight. It's all good.
That's it, mate. That's what I love about chatting to you, mate. You don't care who it is, anywhere, any place, and again, you always come to fight. You never lay down, and as much, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, or this sort of thing, but I speak to a lot of fighters. They don't want to fight you. That's the thing. You're not the easy fight, you know.
I think this is the big thing. I think people from the outside don't really see that I'm the dangerous fight. Do you know what I mean? No one really wants to fight me, because they know I don't go away. They know they're in for a real tough fight. Win, lose or draw, they're in for an absolute battle the whole time. Do you know what I mean? And people look at your record and go, oh, yeah, no, it's not that great a record. But, mate, the people who know. Do you know what I mean? The people who count, they know. And like you say, not many people really want to take that fight. If they get off of me, they go, have I got an option of not fighting him? But it's the ones who take it, fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? So.
They're the brave mental ones, mate. They're nuts, those guys. So, hey, if they want to, but the thing is, again, taking a positive from your and Wild's fight, as I spoke to you before the fight as well, fireworks, as we expected, one of the best fights of the evening. Yeah.
This was it, mate. I think it was close to, if not fight of the night, wasn't it? I mean, there were some decent performances on there, but I think it was 3 rounds of action when it was back and forth. There was people getting dropped. There was everything that you needed, really. And that's the main thing. Listen, if I can put on fights that people enjoy and they want to come and watch again, that's what I'm getting paid for, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm there.
Well, yeah, when we're in the media room, obviously the problem is that up before your fight, they bring the winner out to the media room, and then obviously your fight's going on. And everyone's like, do you want to interview this next person? I said, no disrespect, I'm going out cage side and watch this one. I've been looking forward to this one.
It was always going to be a good fight. I think the style that Tim brings, and again, mate, that guy don't back down, does he? No. There's a lot of people that could have quit after being dropped twice in the first round. He could have balled up and just gone, no, I'm not having any more. And he didn't, and he kept fighting all the way to the end. And to be fair to him, the third round was his. He was pushing more at the end of the fight, wasn't he? So yeah, fair play to Tim. Nothing but respect for him. And he's a top talent. So, like I say, that's the type of guys that I want to be fighting, which is great.
Yeah, and again, you're very similar fighters. That's why I was looking forward to it. You both got great ground games as well, which you just cancelled each other out on the ground completely. As soon as he got you down, you popped up. As soon as you got him down, he popped up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. So I think the way they come into it was he's going to try and keep the kicking range. I'm going to try and keep the boxing range, and we'd see who would win, the boxer or the kickboxer. And it made for an exciting fight, didn't it? Like I say, he kicked the shit out of my leg. So yeah, he done a good job.
I just love the way the fight started, mate. You just come straight out, and you were literally both just swinging at each other, and then obviously you caught him and knocked him down, and it was just a matter of time, wasn't it? There was just such an exciting start, exciting finish to the fight as well. You know what I blame in that fight? That tiny little trickle of blood, mate, that you had coming down.
You know what? I got 2 cuts in that fight. The first one, I cut my eye, was right at the end of the first round, where I dropped him the second time. I went to hit him in the ground and pound, and as he sat up, and we clashed heads right at the end of the buzzer, and it split me open. So I've gone back to the corner saying, "Oh, it was a clash of heads." And then at the end of the second round, he elbowed me, so I had blood coming to the top of my head. So it made it look bad. And then he split his shin open twice. So every time he kicked me, there was blood all down my shoulder, all on my arm, and all that sort of thing. And it weren't mine; it was his. So it just made it look like I was bleeding everywhere, and it weren't all my blood. But like I say, it is what it is. At least it was exciting.
Again, that's another problem the judges have, and I always find it amazing when I'm watching the judges as well that they have no monitors in front of them. Okay, they don't have instant replay. Like, look at the Premier League; you have some of the best referees in the world, and they still need VAR. You know, so
yeah. Like I say, there's such a big, mate. I could sit here for days talking about different judging criteria, different ways of trying to sort it, what we could do, and there's pros and cons for every single one. Do you know what I mean? It's I think judging and refereeing is almost a thankless task. They're always on a loser. Do you know what I mean? If the judges get it right, they're men who have got it right. If they get it wrong, then everyone slates them. Same as the referees. It all depends. The referee stops the fight, and one corner's going, "No, they shouldn't have stopped it." They don't stop it. Then the other corner's saying they should have stopped it. Do you know what I mean? Was it a late one? Was it an early one? I feel for them. They've got a thankless task. They do a great job, and yeah, it's tough. Do you know what I mean? So I can't knock anyone too much. It is what it is.
It is tough, but you know, people keep relating back to all different types of sports. Look at boxing, where Deontay fought Tyson Fury the first time round. Everyone was surprised that Fury lost that. It was a draw in the end, you know, and it's just one of those things.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I always think there is a slight bit of corruption flying around the boxing. Well, there has been corruption flying around boxing, a lot more so than anything in MMA. I think it's a little bit more honest in MMA and stuff like that. Not saying that it doesn't happen. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? In smaller organisations and stuff like that, maybe it does. Who knows? But I mean, you always seem sometimes that in smaller organisations, someone gets the hometown like judges score and stuff like that, maybe. But then, like I say, it's such a hard decision for judges because they're sitting there, they don't quite see what happens because they're on the wrong side of the cage, and the hometown guys crowd go crazy thinking this is a great shot, and it wasn't. They mark it down as a great shot because they go, oh, that must have been a good shot. So it's hard. It's hard for them. Do you know what I mean? It's with crowd noise, with people being in the way, the referee might be blocking their view. You never know. It's like I say, thankless task, mate, and I'm just grateful that people put in the time to come and regulate it and do all that sort of thing. I mean, like I say, Bellator were great afterwards. The Mohegan Sun Athletic Commission were great afterwards. Everyone done what they needed to do. It wasn't. Yes, I feel like I won the fight, but I'm not sitting here feeling like I was robbed or anything like that. It's not like, oh my God, it was this and that. I understand. It is what it is. And like I say, it motivates me to put on a better fight and finish fights and come out and not let it happen again.
Have you and Tim spoken about maybe rerunning that one back at all?
We spoke about it afterwards. We did speak about it afterwards to start with. He said, look, mate, and like I say, fair play to him. He said, look, it was close. And this is how I feel like I did win, because I felt like I definitely won that fight. And he was saying, like, it was close. I'd have to watch it again. I do feel like it was close, but I don't know. But he said to him, fair play to him, he said, look, we can rerun it. whenever you want. If they want to book it again for the next show, if they want to book it again, we'll rerun it. It's not a problem. So fair play to him. We've been speaking quite a lot afterwards, or we were speaking quite a lot afterwards. Like, he helped me with what sort of stuff they were working on to prepare for me. I've helped like give him what we were preparing to fight him and all this. So we've chatting a lot after the fight. I'd said like about training and stuff, but obviously I'm now fighting one of his teammates. So so I think we're just going to call that a little bit. And I'm not giving him any more secrets. And obviously he's not going to be giving me any secrets about how they're training. But yeah, if it happens, it happens, mate. It's one of them things. I'm happy to fight him again. Like I say, I'm happy to fight anyone. And I know he is. He's one of them guys that will fight anyone, anywhere. Just look at it. He's fought Primus, and he's coming off of a loss to Primus, and they offer him me, and he goes, "Yep, no worries, I'll take that." And like you say, not many people want to fight me anyway. So coming off of a loss to then go, "Yeah, all right, I'll fight Charlie," is fair play to him.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I love about you guys, and that's what I love about, no disrespect, obviously I'm not dissing any of the American guys, but the UK fighters that are really coming through, fastest growing sport in this country, which I've said a lot. It's just great to see that's the attitudes, and and it's great to see the sportsmanship afterwards as well. That's what I love about the sport. It's all friends afterwards, even before it was all friends, I know, but it's nice to see that you two were able to share ideas, share training tips and things like that. It's what the sport needs. It's what it's all about.
If he can help me, I can help him progress and break onto the American guy. I know he's already fought, obviously, Primus and stuff like that, but whatever I can do to help the guys that I've fought and stuff like that, I'm more than happy. Like I say, there's no animosity there. It's not like we hated each other or anything like that. It is what it is. It's the sport, and it's making money. And like I say, for that 15 minutes, I'm going to try and take his head off, whether I'm friends with him, whether I know him, whether he's been an arsehole or not. So they can trash talk. You can do what you want. I'm not really into that, and it's not the way that I go about things. And like I say, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to try and take his head off either way, and then I'm going to help him up off the floor, shake his hand, and say thank you, and add him on Instagram, share ideas, do training, train together, whatever we can do afterwards. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man, fantastic. I love it, mate. I love it. And I am just so gutted for you and all the other fighters for the May 16th card that's coming up. It'd been great to see what improvements you made, what changes you made and things like that as well. But as we said, it's all for the greater good, as they say, and it will happen. And you're still a Bellator fighter. That's the most important thing.
Exactly that. Yeah, I'm just thank you for my health, and thank you for getting. Listen, I'm getting to spend a load of time with my son that I normally don't get to spend time with. I'm getting to spend time with my wife and stuff like that. I'm going to be around for the birth. I don't know whether I'm going to be at the birth of my
FaceTime birth. Yeah,
but I'm going to be there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not preparing for a fight now. So there's always things to be thankful for. Try and take the positives out of it and go from there, because otherwise I'll go stir crazy and I'll lose my mind. I think not being able to train it's a tough, stressful situation. I'm just trying to take the positives out of it.
Yeah, mate, that's it. You got your Xbox, you got your kids, you got a pregnant wife there to keep you occupied, man. I'm sure you got your hands completely full there, bud.
Exactly that. I've definitely got my hands full. Don't worry about that.
That's what I like to hear, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, Charlie, again, as always, thank you for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure the little one's lunch is done now. So I'm sure it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my turn to take over. My wife's probably pulling her hair out. She's trying to work and stuff like that, and he's messing her about a bit. But, yeah, no, thank you for having me, mate. I really appreciate it.
No, really, as I said, always a pleasure talking to you. I've spoken to you in person, podcast, now video talking to you. Charlie, you've always been very supportive of myself. And again, I love watching your career carry on as it is, mate, and I can't wait to see you again at the next show.
Top man, thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you.
Nice one, Charlie, mate, and we'll definitely keep in touch. We'll speak soon.
Top man, take care. See you soon.
Thank you, mate.